Hello there. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, so sorry for the delay. These are my personal finds from Montgomery County, Ohio. Let me zoom out as far as I can here. These all came pretty much from the same site, except for this one and this one. This one came from my uncle's, and this one came from a farm that's pretty close to these, where all these came from. These are the best from a farmhouse that I lived at, and it's where I found my very first point. This little, I'm torn over what to call this because it's got flutes to it, but there's a lot of Adinas around here, so well, sorry for the mix up here, but this is a nice little hopewell, and this is just a big sandy that's turned into a scraper. And one of my favorites is this little bifurcate that's about down to drill form. We find a lot of bifurcates. This is probably the best one I've ever found. This one's super thin with tiny little barbs, or not barbs, but bifurcates. This right here is a flaky type point, maybe broken, but it's reworked on the other side. A rare type for where I live at is these. I don't even know what they are. They're just a tiny little point with tons of serrations all around it. Maybe the first stage of something. You guys can tell me what it is. Real corner notched into a straight wing. Possibly the only real dovetail I found. It's pretty beveled and the tip's chipped off, but we find a lot of these little big sandy or raccoon and side notch points around here. You'll see different versions of them in this case. This was found in my driveway, which is ironic. This one's possibly auriculate, or however you would say that, and older, maybe adult and something along those lines. Another flake point, the back of them, this one's totally flat. A tiny point, maybe a salvage tip, but it does have a tail on it. This is actually, I can zoom in there more, that's a quartz point. That's the only quartz point I found, and it blew me away when I found it. Yeah, the pendant has a purple band inside of it where you can see it's been eroded here, and it's been misdrilled. I apologize, this isn't a frame, and it's an old-fashioned frame that doesn't open. I put little boards behind it to hold it in, and if anybody wants me to take it apart and show you anything in particular, I'd gladly do it, but this, if I could put my finger where the other hole is, it would be about right here. So, as I've said before, it appears to be a center drill that just strayed a little bit. Sorry, I got paint on my hands. Let's see, here's some of the bigger pieces I've found. For reference, let me see here, what do I got in my pocket? I always use a big lighter, because everybody knows how big a lighter is. There's a lighter. This is a little, I don't know if you'd call it a hoe or a scraper where you're from. The biggest point I found is the size of a lighter. So, all those big ones you see on eBay. This is a knife that my buddy Joe found while we were walking together, and he gave it to me. But these are all from the same farm as that one. And this season, there's a spot on the farm that is a obvious, excuse me while I set this off to the side, hopewell spot. And I know that because of the flints I find, the points I find, and the bladelets I find. I find a lot of bladelets. These are bladelet shards that have been broken. A large flake knife I found back there. That the flint type back there in this hopewell spot is predominantly flint ridge and pretty stuff. Here's a nice piece of a cash blade that unfortunately bit the dust from a plow. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, but I found this celt back there this year. That was the first celt for the whole farm. Although that's disputable if you consider this a celt, which it probably is, but it is almost more of a pendant shape than a celt. So if it was a worked bit, they didn't use it very much. Sorry, this is the brokens and the chunks and whatevers from the same farm, and it does look horrible. I've been meaning to get a very large case to put it in. This was literally the last point I found which was this winter. It's supposed to be 70 degrees this weekend, so anybody's going to see me, I'm going to have mud on my shoes. Some neat things in here in the broken pile that are well worth putting in their own cases. This is one of the prettier flints I found, and this has been discussed on Arrowhead forums, but it's a broken flint ridge piece that I found pretty far apart from where it was originally at. Here's a neat little, don't really know the type, it's a corner notch, looks to be a snap base or it was broken, but it's a neat little piece that I found. Maybe the beginnings of a banner stone or some type of slate tool, who knows. Yeah, that's it for this one site that I lived at. If you want to see anything or ask of any particular Ohio types you want to see, I have a lot of purchased points, but I didn't want to put them up here and say, you know, these are real or anything, because I don't know. This is another site that is here in town and is actually along a bike path, so while I'm out there hunting those, people are looking at me going, what the heck is he doing? And this was my last good sight of last year. This was my girlfriend's first point. It's a hornstone point. I found that. I haven't been able to really hunt lately. I got a bunch of stuff going on in life, but if you all are looking for a good place to go to arrowheadforums.com. I used to be able to post on there a lot. I haven't been able to lately. There, you can find people who hunt from your area, so I'd recommend it. And yeah, here's some stone objects. I didn't find all these. I found some of them. Of local interest is a banner stone wing that's been drilled. Bought that at an auction. Bought these from a friend of mine. These are both Germantown pieces, which is the closest town. And here's an undrilled gorget. And I found this back here at the site I said was along the bike path. I'm not certain as to, it's a real nice celled end if that was a cell. And my ball that I found that has the drill started, but of course it's not finished. Lots of random rocks. Got all kinds of Indian stuff. I love it. Nothing better than hunting in the fields, you know. And you meet a lot of nice people out there. And you get to go to a lot of nice farm auctions and meet farmers and stuff. So everybody take it easy. And see you in the fields.